talk about some short edits that you can do with your photos that you just took. Right now I'm in Picasa on a Mac, and you can use Picasa on Windows machine, or you can do this with Windows Photo Gallery on a Windows machine. So basically I've dragged all my photos to a folder to my desktop, and I've opened them up and clicked on one of the photos. So let's start with photo number 1 here. I've already started, so basically when I've finished editing to where I want the photo to be, I'll star the photos so I know which photos are edited perfectly and I can drag them into an edited folder. So to start in Picasa, and this is the same with other editing softwares, you want to adjust this to make it brighter and also fix the flare on the roof. So to start out, we'll increase the fill light, and in Windows Photo Gallery it's also called shadows, but for Picasa it's called fill light. And then we also want to darken some spots a little bit, so we just want to keep making adjustments with the fill light. The fill light is brightening up the shadows, which is what you want to do with exterior shots and interior. And if I move the highlights, it makes it too bright, so I'm not going to really touch that too much. So now that I've adjusted the fill light and the shadows on Picasa, I'm going to move over to saturation. I like saturating outside photos because it just makes it look more green and more inviting when it's up on the MLS. So when you hit saturation on Picasa, it automatically does some for you, and you can increase it more if you want. And if you take it all the way down, it looks really dull. So you want to have something a little bit more saturated than what you started with, and hit apply. And then getting rid of these sunspots is really easy. You can go over to this wrench and click on retouch. So in Picasa, what you do is you first click on the part you want to edit, and then you go towards somewhere where you want it to be replaced with. So right there, the part of the roof looks fine. So I'm going to click on the sun flare, move to the side, click on that. Windows Photo Gallery has something very similar. It has a retouch tool where you just drag a box around the area you want to fix, and it just gets rid of it magically. If you have any extensive editing to do, like taking yourself out of a mirror or taking your flash out of a mirror, you're going to have to do some editing in GIMP, which is free, or Photoshop if you have it. But these are just edits you can do quickly and get through images really quickly, one by one. So once that's done, you hit apply on the left here. And now this image is pretty much done, so I'm going to add the star and pretty much go to the next image. So this image, I did some bracketing, so they're going to have 3 shots on these. So let's move to an interior. So we have an interior shot here. It's bright and nice on the left, and I sometimes need to check to make sure I didn't have other flash angles. So you can see the different flash angles up in the upper right. So that's too dark, that looks better, that's ideal. Usually it's my 3rd shot that gets the best flash angle. So let's edit this one, go into the sun here, fill light. So increasing the fill light on Picasa brightens up these dark areas, which is nice. If things are too overexposed, like maybe let's say that door, you couldn't see maybe the molding or the different depths, you'd want to darken that. So you do that with shadows on Picasa. It'll just darken it a little bit. In Windows Photo Gallery, the shadows actually lightens the dark areas, and the highlight button will darken the light areas. So you just play with it until you get what you want, but this is really easy. And then interior, I don't do any saturation. It just doesn't look good. So, and then the only times you play with tint and temperature is maybe if the white balance was off and your photos look really yellow. You might need to play with the tint and temperature to get it to look like a white door looks white. But here, a white door looks white, so we're good here. And since I like this photo, I'm going to star it, and that's it. So I'm going to go through every photo and edit every photo. I usually do something to every photo, so even here I might, you know, increase some of the dark areas, make them a little brighter, and then after I do that I star it. So you go through and make your adjustments. Let's see what we have here. So I try to pick the photos where I can see through the window a little bit. We don't want to do windows that are overexposed. So like this one is way too blown out. So the next one is really the best one you want to adjust with. Brighten that up, and then darken it a little bit. Let's see, do a little more. I think that looks pretty good right there. Sometimes you need to also crop out parts of the image, like let's say this wall, I wasn't perfectly level and it looked really curvy. I'd want to crop that out. So that's the other tool you're going to want to use to crop out spots that look curvy and not so good. So let's say the other thing you want to make sure you do is you keep the same aspect ratio. So I think with Windows and Mac it's both control, so you're going to want to use the control button to keep the same aspect ratio on the image. So you don't want to be doing anything like making a weird rectangle. You want to keep it the same for all the photos when you're cropping. So we got that aspect ratio, it looks good. I'm cropping out that right wall, and then I'm going to hit apply. So now I don't have the right wall any longer, in case it was curved kind of thing. So now that we've edited and starred all of our photos, the final step would be to move all the starred images to an edited folder. So in Picasa, you can click on stars. In Windows, you would sort for a 4-star rating or whatever rating you gave all your edited photos. In Picasa, you can move to a new folder, call it edited, hit OK. Now it's moved to an edited folder. On my machine, it's on the desktop. So when I'm ready to move to MVL and do the uploading, I want to move the edited folder back under the primary folder, which is agent photos. So I can do that on my desktop. Move edited to agent. So now my edited folder is with all the unedited photos, and I can see that here. So it's the same thing with Windows Photo Gallery. You just move all your starred photos into a separate folder, so it makes uploading easy. In my next video, I'll talk about how to rename the photos in case you need to rearrange the order. It's really important to upload in the proper order. So if you had to jump around at a photo shoot, you would want to rearrange them to be from the front of the house all the way through to the backyard in the order that you want it to be. So you upload it all in one shot in the proper order. All right, thanks for watching this video, and be sure to watch the next one.